Welcome to Verbal Pig Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life. And we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. Don't forget to check out the movie trailer, Everyday People. Just Google Everyday People. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Verbal Pig Radio. We appreciate it. Let's keep building. And let's keep touching on topics that's prevalent in today's time and in this society. Now, Charlottesville, Virginia, had a protest by the alt-right Ku Klux Klan and Nazi party. They called the extreme right in America. Now, how long has the Ku Klux Klan been in existence? This goes all the way back to post-slavery, where they formed the Night Riders, the Ku Klux Klan, to intimidate black people, to run them off their land, to intimidate them from voting, to make them feel as though that they will never be considered truly an American. And that was their job. As J.B. Stoner told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we don these robes today, and I'm paraphrasing, but one day we won't be wearing robes, we'll be wearing suits, and we'll be the judges and the lawyers and the doctors and the senators and your congressmen and whatnot. Now, for a while, supposedly, and that could have been a front as well, the Ku Klux Klan never associated with the Nazi Party because they felt the Nazi Party was too extremist, or their views were too extreme for the Ku Klux Klan. But Friday and Saturday, they all marched together. What is that about? And to have David Duke, which is a Klan member, probably the Grand Dragon, tells Donald Trump, the President of the United States, in a subtle threat. Remember, it was white Americans that put you in office, not these radical leftists. Donald Trump had no response. Donald Trump never came out and called the white supremacists or the white racist groups terrorists. As a matter of fact, the guy that plowed through the crowd in that Charger, Dodge Charger, that killed a 32-year-old female, the white guy, was never called a terrorist. It's interesting. When you see how all of this is playing out, it's very interesting. Now, let me give you a little insight on the problem that we face as a people. And when I say we, I'm meaning the race of the original man and the original woman, or the black man, black woman in America. Problem we face. Christianity is the plantation. The whole scope of it represents slavery. The cotton is the materialism. And the whip, the overseer's whip, is the context in which you teach the Christianity. The whip of the tongue. If you tell a man to bow down to another man, that's the whip. The slave master is the white Jesus. So if you walk in any church and you see a white Jesus on the wall, that whole congregation, you can consider them as slaves, and they are easily manipulated, and white people can easily use them as tools, because they would turn the other cheek, just like the slaves did in the plantation, and get beat on their cheek because they're too frozen in fear to save their own lives. And Christianity is the number one teaching tool to teach fear in any individual. And if you raise your child up in Christianity, they will be highly afraid of white people, but they will attack their own at the drop of a dime. So this past weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia, it was just a demonstration of how a lot of white people think in America. They feel as though someone has their country, even though this is not their country. Their country is somewhere over in Europe. Now you're claiming something that was stolen, but it doesn't make it rightfully yours. So the message was to the alt-rights and to the Ku Klux Klan and to the Nazi Party, why don't we all unite and get along? That was the message. Why don't we all unite and get along? And the insanity is, you think we're going to unite and we haven't united in 400 years? The time for uniting was a long time ago. And you couldn't get white people to unite with. The time for uniting was the time when the North won the Civil War. That was the time for uniting, because you think that, okay, the whites would have apologized then if they wanted to unite and said, hey, enslaving another individual is wrong. We apologize. And we'll do good. Not only will we apologize, but here you go, 40 acres and a mule, and we'll send you off well. I hope you do well. And once again, please forgive me for the atrocities, the sins, and the murders, and the rape that was committed upon your people by my people. And let's see if we can build in the future. And if you retaliated physically, we wouldn't retaliate back, because we understand that you wanted to release some frustration due to the horrible treatment that was given upon you. See, that form of Christianity was their way of, that was appeal given to the ex-slaves to make them swallow the horrific acts and violence and murder that was bestowed upon them by the white race. So black people went out in Oklahoma and built a Black Wall Street. Let's separate and let's build our own economic base. They did, and the Black Wall Street in Oklahoma was successful. And then the bombs came, the lies came, and they should have told you something then, just like Jesus stated. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your fathers ye will do. You were a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Now, if you teaching that part, passes out the Bible, we can understand. But that give the master your coat and turn the other cheek and all that BS. Nobody falling for that in 2017. Only a slave would, and you know that. So you pimp the congregation. But at the same time, they get knocked around the head. They getting arrested, falsely accused, no justice. I mean, it's real crazy. So hopefully, we can not come together with the Ku Klux Klan, because their mission is not a mission of inclusion. The Nazis' mission is not a mission of inclusion. The alt-right movement is not a movement of inclusion. There are movements that has an agenda, and ideology. And the pool that they're recruiting from is the white pool. They're not over there recruiting from black people out of black churches. And so they'll keep revising their recruiting tactic until they get majority of white people that will belong in one of these groups. So while you in church looking up at white Jesus and singing that old Negro spiritual, they plotting against you every day. And then you say, well, yeah, but Jesus saves, and he's going to come down and protect us from these white races. And it's sad because you never sit and thought, who gave black people to Jesus? When black folks was kidnapped and brought to America, we didn't bring a white Jesus with us. And the black people who was already here, who got thrown into slavery, they didn't show any signs or any history of worshiping a white Jesus and Jesus in the form that you do today. This is all new. And who was the creator? Who was the designer of it? It wasn't God. You said God is gonna have a group of people, enslave one group of people. Then out of the group who enslaved the people, they're gonna give that people a religion and a savior, and they gonna teach it in a way that's gonna free your mind, body, and soul. Come on, man, you gotta wake up. Why you think ever since they put black people into quote unquote what they call the ghettos, nothing has changed? The ghettos was supposed to symbolize a concentration camp. Gonna lock you inside the ghetto. They're gonna make sure you don't have any nutritious foods to eat. They're gonna make sure you have all the things at your disposal, so that you don't to keep you to think inside the box, and that's flooded with alcohol, flooded with drugs, to keep your mind concentrated on materialism, so they can keep you right there, because really they have no use, as Brother Farrakhan stated, they have no use for us, but they still want to watch you, meaning they want to keep their enemy closer. So they keep you locked in an area of town where they can watch, put cameras up, watch, have police patrol through. You know, then they need you to justify overtime on the police force, so you know they'll bring guns and drugs in the community so you can't commit the crime, so they can tag you, your name, and monitor you and watch you for life. And then when they do something to you, they like to see you get out and say no justice, no peace, so they can laugh. Yeah, so this lecture was part Wake Up Christians, and part they are who they are. You both reading out the same Bible. Now, the Ku Klux Klan are Christians. They carry the cross. They have the Bible. And the black church has the cross and the Bible. And the black church would say that, yeah, but our version of the Bible is the true version because it connects us closer to God. And either the pastor is running the game on the congregation, or he's been fooled too. Either way, it's not going to work. It not has worked, and it's not working. We've been at this thing for over 400 years. And it's getting worse. It's going further and further into the abyss. It's getting worse and worse. It's gotten so bad to where now pastors have to bring in half-naked women to dance on stage to keep the congregation in attendance to get that money. And the people that never put themselves up out of slavery as far as mentally, in the back of their mind, they're still saying, when are we going to be free? They came in just like Nat Turner. He went into that Bible and that church and he realized, man, this thing is a monster. If this thing is not stopped, it's going to engulf and enslave all my people. So when he was going around from plantation to plantation killing slave masters, he really was killing Christianity. He was killing that poison doctrine that he knew. He knew, man, this thing is so powerful that anybody that gets trapped within this can't free themselves. They'll pass it down for generation to generation. And those who are strong enough to step outside of it and beat it are the lucky ones, the blessed ones, God chosen ones. But the ones who's trapped inside of it will bring you poverty. It'll bring you lack. You'll have struggles. It'll bring you pain, physically and mentally. It'll have you believing, looking up in the sky, believing that somebody's going to drop down out of the clouds and come save you. It'll have you fantasizing. It'll have you withdrawn from reality. If it's preached the way that the slave master taught the slave to teach black people. You teach it like that, the people don't have a chance. There'll be generation upon generation upon generation with the slave mind carried over and over again. So what should we do about the sentiment of racism that was displayed in Charlottesville, Virginia? See, they have the right, freedom of speech. And let them protest. It's simple as that. Just like you have the right, freedom of speech, exercise it. Do your research. Find out who is who and what is what, and then tell it to the ones who don't know. You don't go out and try to stop someone from telling you the truth of who they are and what they've been. You should look at it and look at them and say, yeah, I want to separate. I don't want to be a part of the white culture. Because the white culture is not American culture. It's European mixed with every other culture that they stole it from. We don't want to have any parts or any dealings with that. Let them have it. We're saying just don't be a modern day slave. We're saying that turn the other cheek and give the master your coat and throw that shit out the window. Do like Malcolm said. They put their hands on you. You do the best whatever in your power to break their damn arm. And then leave it right there and let them know, hey, don't bother me, I won't bother you. Even dogs understand that. Don't bother me, I won't bother you. That's universal. Animals understand that. You show them. Like that dog. You tell him you training a dog. You tell him, no, don't poop on my floor. And if they do it, you show them the poop and you hit him in the nose with the newspaper. Whack him on the head. And they understand to leave you alone and they're going about their business. All that hooping and howling and, Jesus, one day we all gonna get along and somebody please help me, and that don't work. We gonna love the hate out of white people. That's madness. You're not gonna love the hate out of a people who prosper from hating you, and that's the only way they got on top was through hate and slavery. Slavery, that was the hatred for black people. That's why they worked you for free. That's how they got on top. That was the formula, the method. That was the energy. That was the engine. That was the boost to their success, was the hate for black people. You think you're going to change that with some prayer or a Bible that they gave you, or a white Jesus that they gave you? It's even sickening for you to even think that way. You got to wake up. You're being played. Ask your parents, and then ask their parents, and ask their parents before them. They've been doing it longer than you. They went to their dying bed holding it and believing in that, and never gave them nothing. They'll tell you it don't work. They'll tell you can't change the heart of some people. Those hardcore races, and depending on how many, because it's quite a few, you can't change their mindset. That comes from within. They don't even see you as being valid enough to even want to listen to your take on the situation, because it's coming from you. That's an insult to them. So wake up. This Verbal Pick Radio. We're out.